Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of the Undocumented Truth. I'm your one and only host, Manny. Me in the studio today, I have my co-hosts, Benjamin, Lady G, and Melanie. Today we want to discuss a very important topic. We want to talk about a topic that affects society in all kinds of ways. We want to discuss a topic that affects the lives of our children, and this starts at a very, very tender age. Child support. I know off camera we've had a lot of conversation on this topic, guys, but right now we are on camera and everybody needs to stand by what they've been saying off camera.
Absolutely.
So I'd like to know, in any other, what do you guys think child support is, first of all, and do you think that it's a system that has been beneficial to the children that it was created to support?
Yeah, child support is really the custodial parent being given financial support by the parent that is not that does not have custody of the child. So I personally believe that child support is needed. It might be abused by maybe some custodial parents, but it is something that parents that are taking care of the child they need from the other parent. A child is the responsibility of two parents, and when it comes to taking care of these parents, the two parents should be
When it comes to taking care of the child, you mean?
taking care of the child, the two parents should be involved.
Okay. For me, hi, undocumented citizens.
We are documented by the way.
Yeah, that was a joke though. You guys don't have ICE or anything, but that was a joke. Anyways, I liked how Emmanuel started it by saying it affects everyone, because child support is not just to a specific person. It's not just the parties directly involved. Mothers, grandparents, aunties, uncles have seen the damage or the benefit that this has caused in families. And so in my opinion, child support is, without going to what it exactly is, to me it's a support, unfortunately not defined and not, let me just stick with define. They did not define clearly how far the extent of the support is supposed to be or what this support is supposed to look like. But it involves helping in any way possible. If a parent is not physically present to help a child grow, if a parent is not willing to educate spiritually, academically, support financially, all of that to me comes into child support. It's not limited to anything in particular.
Mm-hmm. What was the question again?
I mean, what child
is
support
support
is, I think Mel and Lady D have already kind of resolved that, and I believe we all understand what it is. So then, do you think, given the way child support is today, what do you think about it? Do you think it's a system that is really helpful to the kids? Do you think that it's harming the kids? I mean, and even the community where child support is practiced, what do you think?
This is a personal opinion.
Of course, every opinion here is personal. Nobody is speaking for anybody here.
Yeah, I think child support is out of place, as far as I'm concerned.
Do you mind speaking your mind?
Yeah, I think child support is out of place.
It's been taken out of context, or is
It's out of place because
Okay.
personally, I don't think child support is necessary.
Okay.
Yeah, you may ask me why I should progress.
Yeah,
but
go
Why?
ahead. We would like to know why you think
Yeah.
it's out of place, of course.
Yeah. The first thing I would say is that, when you have a child and whether the child is living with one parent or both parents, that child, the parent that has custody of that child should take care of that child without anything like child support from wherever.
All right, I mean, I'd like to chime in, but I'd like to follow up on what you just said. And I'm only asking this because Lady D kind of alluded to the same thing, where she said the parent that has custody. Why are you guys starting off with the assumption that one parent will have custody, even though both parents are responsible 50-50 in the
Making the child.
in the
So I believe before child support is actually awarded to a parent, that parent is, that parent has a higher responsibility, which means they're either keeping the child for more than 50% or as opposed to the other parent, or they're financially more responsible before that the child support is awarded to that child, and that financial or that child support is coming in to kind of just give that custodial parent a hand. So it starts with really who has the custody of the child.
How did we even get to the place of custody?
I gave birth to my child. I have the child. I'm taking care of the child. I'm keeping the child maybe 80% of the time. And now I'm coming to you as the father of the child to ask for more support, to ask for support because you were not even doing that.
Let me ask this question. When I'm leaving my wife at home, is there anything that child support? I'm asking.
Well, that's your
it's a question I'm asking. I don't know.
There is support.
Because child support comes in
support.
only when there's some kind of court.
There is support in the home. Yeah, that's why I'm saying you're going far away from the topic because we're talking about child support.
I think you guys are getting us off track, right?
Yeah.
So let me make a few points here and then see how we could redirect the conversation here.
Okay.
So first of all, I think we should applaud the child support that it's even a thing, because I really think that children need support. I think if you have, before you lay down and create a child, you should first of all prepare yourself to take care of a child. You can't just going around and just dropping kids left and right for other people to take care of for you. I don't have any problem with child support being a thing. Actually, I love it. If I have power, there will be child support. I have an issue with how child support, the form in which it is today, how it is being applied and implemented has some issues, and I do have some thoughts on how that can be fixed. But of course, before I do that, Ben outright said that child support shouldn't even be a thing. Lady D assumed that because she's the one that bore the child came out of her, it is her child, which is very, very wrong.
No.
There's something
that you have custody, like 80% of wrong.
We are not married or we are divorced. I am the one keeping the child.
According to
why
you,
do you
the system
assume
is
that
supposed
you are
to
the one
decide.
keeping the child?
I'm not assuming.
Custodial parent.
That's exactly what I started with.
Makes you the custodial parent.
Maybe it could be.
It could be you. It could be me.
Okay. The court can actually decide who the custodial parent
On what ground?
That is custody, right? You go to court and they decide that. Before the court, maybe because we divorced or because I gave a child or I gave birth to a child because we had a one night stand. Yes, exactly. And I ended up with the child. I'm the custodial parent.
No, you're not.
I mean, I'm keeping the child. It's not 50-50. It depends. It could be 50-50, but if I am the one keeping the child maybe 90% of the time, and you, the other parent, don't come to my help, I am the custodial parent, and I need some more financial support.
Right, and I agree with that, that if you have the child 90% of the time, the other parent's supposed to provide you some support. But
that is the only...
I don't want us to start out the conversation with that assumption that you have the child 90%. We want to kind of walk through the steps how we get to the point where one parent has more time than the other.
Or more financial responsibility than the other.
Alright, so if you guys like to hear, right? This is the suggestion that I would have. If two parents are not together, so they are not married, they are not living in the same home, but they have a child together.
Right.
I think the way the system has to approach it is, first of all, custody has to be in the middle, half and half. That is how nature has created it. That's why if they check in the chart, 50% of that child is the father, 50% is the mother. We should respect nature by making sure that Custody goes 50% for the mother, 50% for the father. Of course, we know that the child needs support, right? And the court should not only define support for a child in terms of finances, because finance is just one aspect of what a child needs to grow up in a very good and supportive environment.
Right.
The child needs mental support, psychological support, education, religion, food, and all of these. We know money can buy some of these things, but money cannot buy everything. So the system focusing on the money aspect alone is affecting the development of that child in a negative way instead. So support has to start 50% custody, and then I know they look at the finances. Which of the parent has money, has more money, right? And they say, oh, okay, because you have more money, maybe you need to pay these other parents some money to help them take care of the child, which I don't think is correct. I think that it should be 50-50. When the child is with you, you take care. When the child is with me, I take care. And if you cannot take care of the child 50% of the time, you can give up some of your time to the parent that has more money so that they can continue to take care of the child. What I don't want is money exchanging hands in a child support situation, because there has been so many instances where that money is not even spent on the child. I am fully aware of a situation where the child, the father had to pay money to the mother, and the mother decided to use that money to go do a Brazilian butt lift. She decided to do facelift, boobs lift, and all of that, and the child was not receiving the support that was meant for the child.
Well, can we chime in to go back to?
Yeah, so I'd like to hear the solutions that you guys have.
With that is where I would say the system has failed. Child support money is not being audited, it's not being accounted for. In most cases, the custodial parent can decide to do whatever they want to do with that money. That is the only thing that I think is bad about child support.
The whole mess starts first of all from the custody thing. Because just because a parent comes up, again, like it's defined, it's the parent that is custodial, right? Which means you come to the court system and you say, I'm the one that's most present, I'm the one that is taking most of the responsibility, so I want custody. That's a person's
I don't think they just go like
they don't investigate.
No, they do. Like
the
court listen on both sides and they take examples.
Listen, but they do not investigate.
Maryland law uses what we call the interest of the child's best interest standard to make that determination.
That is correct. That's what Maryland uses.
So I don't think they just hear from one side.
They do
the
not
other side has to bring their own points with supporting evidence to show that they have that time and that other support. Like they're not the ones to give that financial support to the other parents.
This is my thing, though. It starts off on an unfair ground already. If
I don't think
comes to the system and says, I take most care of my child, I'm more present than the other person, so I want extra financial support. If you are doing that and you can prove it, then let the system go and investigate both parties, both sides, and come with a conclusion to confirm that, oh, this person is actually very busy. The people around them have attested that this person will not be a responsible parent physically to support them. Because again, we keep assuming child support is that financial support. It is not just that. So if it's proven that this person, because you're going to say this person is unworthy of taking care of the child, so while the child's with me, I need more support. If you need more support, then you should be willing to get that investigation done properly so that they justify who should have the child. But also, when it comes down to that investment, if we're saying our child needs to go to school, our child needs to do this, let's do a balance sheet. Let's come with a budget, an amount, and define, we both made this child, this is what it costs to raise this child, this is your percentage, this is my percentage. If you want to go based on, oh, you make more than me, it's either you get a second job and make as much to meet up your own responsibilities, or you give me the child so that I can take more care of the child because I can afford to do it more. I do not agree with the fact that because I'm making more, I should be punished as a citizen who's already paying more taxes. I should be punished to give you more money that is unjustified. This is hard-earned money.
You know, actually, that money, you as a father of the child, you should actually be able to know how that money was spent. So if you cannot investigate as a father who is very involved in your child's life and know how the money you're giving to your son or to your daughter is being spent, then something is wrong. Something is wrong.
Hold on.
Yes.
Let me ask you a question, please. So let's say we have a kid together.
Yes.
And I'm paying you $2,000 a month. How am I going to investigate to know how you spend that $2,000?
You're supposed to know exactly what the child's needs are.
It's illegal to go and investigate somebody like that.
By the way,
you can't be investigating. Just wake up and investigate
it's
somebody.
not about illegal or legal. I'll just ask you a question.
yes.
How do I investigate to know how you spend my $2,000?
First off, you and your baby mama should be
You are the baby mama. In this hypothetical scenario that I just created, she is the baby mama.
okay.
So tell me how I will investigate to know how you spend the money.
I am supposed to be in good terms with you, or I am supposed to keep a very open communication. I will be I will be a
Just
baby
tell me,
mama that is very open to how I'm taking care of our child. And the fact that you're giving money to me, I'll make sure that I'm giving you an account of how that money is being used to take care of your child. And if that's not the case, I would say you as the man, you're supposed to go back and complain, especially if you see that the child is not going in to take care of that child.
Let's take a high conflict. Anyways, Ben.
Yeah, I think man, this is something here about earning more or less, and being forced to pay more because you are earning
Yeah,
a
it
lot of
becomes
money.
punitive.
Yes,
It becomes punitive.
that's it's destructive. Is there anything wrong?
No, go on, Ben.
So she talked about a parent paying more because he or she is earning more money, and I think what they do is they look at what you are earning, and imagine that your child should live this kind of life if you are earning more money. So that's why they do that, and have to take more from you. It's not they don't just do it because they want to do it. So if you're making more money, they feel that okay, this is
I should just spoil the child.
This is standard of life. No, yeah. Else it will be fixed for everybody across the board.
Did you know? Before the child support we know today is actually a modified definition of what it was in the beginning. Back then, in the 90s, child support, it wasn't even called child support, it was called welfare assistance.
Yeah. Okay.
So it was all financial, about giving money to the lower income earning partner or parent. So it wasn't even about the child. It's not until the recent years that it was changed to child support. So you see that from the get-go, the whole thing was already messed up. Now, the system being broken and changing it today did not make sure they also reinforced the laws to make sure that money that is given is being used. But this is what this
what I was trying to say is that if they don't have to take more from a parent that's making more, they should set a standard fee for everybody to pay as child support. Probably
a child that is 0 years old, this should be a standard. A child that is 1 year old,
if I make 1,000, I should pay child support for 2,000. It should be standard for everybody. So if you are making more, you have to pay more for child support.
No,
that's
if I
logical.
choose to spoil my child more, I would do it when my child is in my care.
We're talking about child support.
In regards to that, right? And again, the courts look at who can take, who has the different resources. It's not just the time.
So if you're physically present, you can be there to take care of your child.
No,
why are you not bringing in the financial?
wait. I want to answer Mel's question. Mel's point. You talked about the fact that if the other child, the custodial or parent, is making less, they should go get a job.
Yeah,
right?
get another job.
And do you know them getting that?
So they can get a better paying job.
The fact that they're already keeping that child is already taking a lot of their time.
Let the child stay with the other parent who will not suffer.
In most cases, it's not really like the other child, the custodial parent don't want the child to live with the other parent. It's actually the other parent that doesn't want the child. Maybe the other parent is even married.
Well,
He's moved on with his life. He doesn't even want to be with the child. So don't just think one-sided.
Well, then we should mind who we make.
And again, you talked about the fact that if the custodial parent is making less, they should they should take care of the child based on the standard of maybe the income, right? So you really want your child to be living the life of 100,000. Meanwhile, you're rich. You're the dad. You're worth millions. And now,
if you're in the ghetto and you are with the child, let the child be in ghetto standard. Balance the child.
I want us to have this conversation with facts, not with feelings. Okay? You can say whatever you want with your feelings and all of that, but you must present facts here if we want to have a good conversation. Continuously thinking that one parent has to pay money to the other parents because they make more. Why am I making more than you? Why did you not make more than me?
Really?
It's a question that will come in. I am not even saying that I don't want my child to have a good standard of life. I'm saying that if you want my child to have a good standard of life,
with you too.
I am there and I'm willing to stay with them and give them that life. I want the system to give me the opportunity to do that. I don't want any system to force me to give the child to a dombo and then pay them to take care of the child. That is what I'm saying.
And why did this whole conversation come about?
I don't want the child to have a good life. I'm not saying that I want the child to have a bad life. I'm saying that give me the child to give him a good life. You keep creating scenarios where the other parent didn't want the child. That is not what we are talking about. If you don't want the child, then you forfeit your time to be with the child. And now the child has to be with the other parent. And if they want you to pay, you are the one that forfeited your rights. You cannot go and be complaining. You can't eat your cake and have it. You can't say I don't want to be with the child and then don't want to pay for somebody.
Right, then they can charge you whatever.
That doesn't make sense.
Right.
I'm saying strictly on situations where the father wants 50% of the child, the mother wants 50% of the child. They should have that opportunity and nobody should pay the other. Anyways, I think we've elaborated this point so much.
Can I
would
make
love
another
to
point
move on.
outside of what we've been
Yes,
talking
go on.
about? Another thing about child support was to hold people accountable economically, because the more people make babies, the more you have people that are reliable and dependent on the government.
Right.
So by holding these parents accountable, it kind of put them in a position where they had to find jobs, so contributing to the society and also contributing to raise children who are not dependent on the state, on the government.
I don't get it.
The economic factor, you're not getting it.
Okay, so I got the point. So
You got the point?
yeah.
Okay.
So what is the other side of your point?
So my point that I'm making, I'm coming out of the fact that child support is not necessarily only that money for the child or whatever, it's also contributing to the society, so we don't have a lot more destitute kids in society. Yes. Right. So that's just another point I wanted to add there.
And that's why the parent that is making more and should support the one that is making less. So that they should be that balance.
It's not other parent support. I want you guys to be very careful the way you look at this.
So
I don't want to be supporting you. I'm not with you anymore, but I want to support my child.
Let me ask you.
Nobody should force me to take care of another adult who has all the capabilities.
So let me ask you this question. Let me ask you this question.
Managing the child support funds.
Let me ask you this question. If the money you're giving to the other parent is being used on house rent, is that something that your child?
That's part of child support.
House rent.
Is that something you're proud about?
That is out of child support.
Okay, let me just
Let me say
It's
this.
not, you have to provide shelter.
No. Said if you're a parent and you can't provide shelter for yourself, then you don't deserve to live with that child even for one day.
Oh, thank you for saying that. Yes. Okay.
Well,
come back on that.
Yeah.
Really quick, I know we've been going over this, but I failed to make this point that the reason why child support was created was to go after absentee parents, whether it's the father or the mother. If you abandon a child, the system is supposed to come in and make you understand that you shouldn't go around having children if you don't want to take care of them. Child support is being weaponized today and used against even the well-meaning parents that wants to be in the life of their parents. And I'll tell you, a lot of women are abusing it. I know there are men that are also abusing it, but on a percentage basis,
Ratio-wise.
there's more women abusing child support than men. In Maryland, when you file for child support, the assumption is that you're the custodial parent and they just give you all those benefits. For the other parents to fight for their rights, they have to file for custody.
Right.
That's when they come into the picture. But you filing for child support doesn't mean the other parent was absent.
Right.
There are a lot of women that are trying to keep parents or fathers out of the kid's life because they see child support as an incentive to make money. They're seeing it as more as a source of income rather than support for the child. A child should never, in any circumstances, be used as a source of income. You're destroying that child's life.
Okay, Manny, you talked about taking the other parent to custody court so that they can decide who gets to have the child, so that maybe child support should continue or not, right? Based on the fact that maybe you guys are going to share that 50-50 time with the baby. So is that a hard thing to do if you were taken to child support and you know the solution?
All right. Yeah, that's a great question, Lady E. But I like to say a few things before I even answer your question, right?
Okay.
Again, child support should be for absentee parents, not for parents that have been run out of the life of their kids because the mother has decided to weaponize child support as a source of income.
And beat her.
Right, yes, because you're not with her.
Right.
She's mad, she can't find anybody as good as you
She's
were.
fat.
And now she's fat and ugly and she wants to destroy you, she wants to make you fat and ugly too. All right, that being said.
Fat and beautiful.
That being said, when you go to court, you hire lawyers. It costs money, it takes time.
Okay.
I don't want to be going through that nonsense because when I laid with you to have a child, I didn't hire a lawyer, I didn't go to court. That being said, the court is there for the interest of the court, not the interest of the child.
Okay.
The law will say the interest of the child, but really, if you look at what they do, they are not doing it for the interest of the child. They are doing it for the interest of the court.
Okay.
Because you end up paying lawyers, paying the judge, and if you pay child support through the enforcement system, part of it goes to the enforcement system, not to the child.
Okay.
Even people that don't make enough, let's say you're paying $200 in child support a month, and they take $25. That's $200 that would have gone to the child. Now the child is only getting $175. How is that kind of a system in the interest of that child?
Everybody's getting their cut of the child.
Yes, the court might provide you a solution. Is that solution really in the best interest of your child? You're supposed to ask. If you are a parent whose goal is to put the father or mother on child support, even though they are willing and able and want to be in the child's life, and because some parents lie.
They don't even have
Especially
conversations.
I mean,
women.
everybody
Women
lies, including some parents. So.
Well, okay,
Yeah.
that's my answer.
Yeah.
No, I wanted to come in, you talk about a lot of money being spent to hire a lawyer, pay the judge, pay whatever.
Yes, you have to pay that system.
Yeah.
As you put there, those people leave because of that system.
Absolutely, because they're doing a job. They're enforcing the law. And it goes with money.
Yeah.
If you're a criminal, you have to pay for all those things. I don't think that's a problem. Because if you and your baby mama or baby papa or whatever, I don't know, if you were at peace, you didn't go to court,
Yeah.
you wouldn't spend that money. You would spend that money on your child.
If it
But
was for the
since it
best
ended in
interest
court,
of the
no, hold
child,
on.
they will not even
Since,
go
no, hold
to
on.
that extent.
It's the benefit of the child because they have to enforce the law, and to enforce the law, you need to spend money. That's simple.
But that's what I'm saying. If
When-
you look at the way the child support is working, these people that even go for it,
we can't
they are not
complain
doing
that
it for
because
the child's
if
interest.
you were already spending that money on the child, you won't be in court.
If it's for the child's interest, we can see that. Sometimes we don't even have conversations.
You're totally wrong.
No, I don't think Mr. Ben is wrong, and I understand where it's
No,
coming
what I'm
from.
saying is that
The thing is,
if the baby mama took you to court,
right.
there must be a reason.
That's it.
Are you joking?
99% of the time, you guys cannot sit here and claim that when a baby mama just wakes up one day and decide to take you to court.
So yes, some
You
of them
should
are
be
just fun and
mature
bitter and
enough
take you
to
to
reason with the mother of your baby to the extent that they don't do such a
Some
thing.
don't even want to talk.
Let me-
They don't even
It's
come to
good
you
at saying
about
I
it.
do understand that there might be some 2% somewhere.
All right. I really think you guys did not fully listen to me, or maybe you did not quite understand what I was saying.
I understood
I did
you
create
very well.
a whole number of scenarios here. And again, I said I want us to have this conversation with facts, not with emotions. You just say, oh, 99% of the parents. Where is that 99 number coming from? I don't want us to just be throwing all that here. It doesn't make.
See, child support is
Let's
just like
speak-
any other thing that
let us
happens in
speak with
society.
facts.
It's
We're
just
speaking
like
about
you're
child
saying.
support. Let's speak with facts. That's
Okay,
all I'm
I do
requesting.
have facts.
Let's not
I
say
do have
99%
facts.
of the parents are doing this or 10% is doing this.
I do have facts.
We're just grabbing those percentages from
No, I
thin
do
air,
have
right?
facts.
That's all I'm saying.
Yes.
There are a lot of situations where the mothers are trying to keep the parents out of the life of the child.
You have
because
facts.
they
You have
want-
facts for that.
Hold on.
Where the
Because
facts from?
then you're just making fun of yourself right
Okay,
now.
go ahead, go
Let's
ahead.
have a conversation.
All right, go ahead.
They're trying to keep the father out of the life of the child because if they keep the father, they are going to have more time with the child, and that is going to increase the amount of child support that they are getting. Looking at that, that's somebody weaponizing child
Yeah.
support to do what it was not created for.
Absolutely.
It was not created
That's
so that
right.
the parents should get more money. It was created so that the child should get support. And if the court comes in, it should come to enforce that. Not the Maryland situation is really a sad one because when the parents, whichever parents that goes and file for child support, they just assume that that parent is the custodial parent. It should also start with no matter who files for child support, the court system should look at the two parents. Are they able and willing to take care of the child? If one is willing and the other is not willing, they give the one that is willing. If both are willing and are able, they give both of them.
Yes.
I'm saying that we should have a fair solution.
Yes.
I'm not saying they should favor fathers or favor mothers.
Nobody
No.
said that.
I'm saying they should favor the child.
Now,
Because
you know,
the
I'm
child
gonna
ends
say
up
this.
as the victim
In
when
this
that
whole
system
situation.
is not applied
Yes.
fairly.
And we have
So,
people,
what
and I'm
you-
not generalizing, right? We have
And
cases
please
where
don't generalize.
yeah, I'm not
Yes.
generalizing, but we've seen cases coming to your point where you said there's never been a situation where somebody goes to file for child support or custody just to, to punish as a punitive measure. I have seen
That happens every day.
every day. I have seen young women who can even afford to take care of their children by themselves, but the anger that they were left behind, that the man has moved on, they just they are just scorned.
Out of spite.
Out of
It's called
spite,
scum.
take this
The scum
man to
of a
court
woman.
and just drag it just because they want him to suffer.
Yeah.
I agree with that. And the same thing as I have seen a man that gave birth to a child and never saw that child for 3 years.
Why?
And when the guy heard that it was time to go to child support, that's when he showed up. Now he can come back and be there maybe for a few months, or maybe for he comes back and he's trying to show maybe love and support at that time. Even
So-
at that time, I'll still take you to
Did
child
he even know he
support.
had a
You
kid?
you were just threatened. That's when you
Did he
you
even know he
came
had
back
a
to
kid?
Money.
What do you mean?
Did he even know?
You've laid down all
Whatever we
Guys are
said
just
here,
arguing.
let's
You
actually
brought out all
know
this-
that there
yeah,
are always exceptions to everything.
You
I
brought
do agree that there are cases where the father or the other
they did.
parent never needed to.
Very true. So what is the solution to that?
Yes.
Yes,
I want to know
we
what
can
is the
pick
solution
all kinds
to
of
all of them.
Scenarios.
Yeah.
And we're going to stay here all night.
Absolutely.
I want
What
us to
is the
speak from
solution?
a more general point
Yes.
and provide a solution and
Yeah.
say, yes, we see this
We see
problem
that
with
this
child
happen.
support.
This
is
could,
how we
this
can
could be a
fix it.
solution. This
Right?
could be a solution to that kind of
We
situation.
have
So-
the
As far-
facts that we have brought here, they are very, very important
Yeah.
to someone that doesn't understand how child support works. And I don't want us to kind of generalize things. There are always exceptions to things.
Yeah.
Because don't tell me here that every a child support case is just the parent trying to take money from the other parent. That's a lie.
Who said that?
And that's why I was
Who
saying
said
that there
that?
are exceptions.
Yeah.
Who
So
said
because your
every-
point, you are
Hold on.
coming from the
Lady.
standpoint that 50-50%, and we cannot just stand by
Lady.
that.
Lady.
There are cases that
Lady.
needs to go to child support court. Because the parent, even if it's the 50-50, they came
I think he was giving the best scenario that could happen. That's the best scenario.
Let us be careful.
Because if it's 50-50, I will stand here and say, no, don't take nobody to child support. And we will have no conversation.
Well, this is my
said,
solution to it.
My solution was,
this is what I'm suggesting. Okay, Mr. Let's start with what you're suggesting.
Yeah, my solution is this. I am not for any child support. That's the first thing. No child support. We want to have a baby. Make sure you can take care of that baby without the other partner. If the partner dies, what are you going to do? You're going to take care of that baby. Don't depend on child support. That's my first solution.
Right.
The second one is, if it comes to paying money, I don't just want money to exchange hands between baby mama and baby whatever.
Daddy.
Yes. They could find some kind of thing where the money is kept to buy milk, buy sugar, buy rice, buy beans, and when the baby mama comes in,
just tell us
she takes
that thing. That is because
government can
if you're providing a solution, you say they should find a thing.
No, there can be a card that you actually ordered what was used, what that card was used for, what that money was withdrawn, like cash.
Absolutely.
Or what did the what are the expenses?
You could have a card where you can buy only food and clothes and things like that.
Well, I think
you can drink, you can buy alcohol, you can buy cigarette with a card, you can buy any kind of thing. You can do BBL with a card. You can only buy milk, eggs, and some kind of stuff.
Well, for me, that is
my own solution.
My solution is when you chose to have the baby together, mind who you lay with. Don't go find the auntie from the ghetto, and then you want to provide a high-skilled life for your child. So if you lay with a man who has the means, but you don't, when the child is with you, let him experience one side of life. When they are with their other parent, let them experience, so they can get the best of both worlds.
Exactly.
So split everything 50-50. If you cannot afford your share, give me the child more.
I think, yes.
My solution is child support needs to be there. There are a lot of
nobody has said child support doesn't need to be there.
I said so.
All of us here. Okay, go ahead, Lady. Sorry. Go ahead.
I'm lost.
Go ahead.
Your solution. Don't get lost.
My solution is that there should be auditing. There should be accountability. The money.
100% agree.
The money should be spent on the welfare of the child and not on that of the mom.
All right. Well, I think we have gone over and over and over. I have a few scenarios that I want to create here and hear what your thoughts will be. Let's say you get a girl pregnant on a one night stand, and you ask her to abort. You give her money, she disappears, and come back a year later with a child and says she never aborted. Is that your child?
It is your child.
So this is what I think of that.
Should you pay child support?
This is what I think. This is what I think. You asked her to abort, so you completely.
Speak in your mind.
You asked her to abort, so you completely separated yourself from the responsibility, right? Now, when this girl comes back and there is a child, a human in question, I think both parties should have the right to show up in front of the law and say, I do not want anything to do with this child. I am completely distancing and separating myself from this human, and there should be legal document for that. So that way you don't have any responsibility for that child either. If you're denouncing it, because you can disown a child, right? So
no, you can disown a child and you still pay child support.
But that's where I disagree. That's where I disagree. That's where I disagree.
You would not just have the opportunity to see the child, or
that question is
because I told you initially I didn't want it.
Let's take one at a time.
That question is very difficult to actually answer.
There's nothing difficult about it.
It's difficult. The first thing is this. I will say this. From that question, I will say that if you want to have intercourse with a lady, the first thing you have to do is to define what you actually want.
Exactly.
Yes, define that if a child comes in, we are bored.
Pleasure, viruses,
because this is what I'm driving to. Abortion comes with a cost. It can cost the lady's life, can make her never to go to bed again, kind of stuff like that. So it becomes a little bit very technical. If she says no, I won't abort, you might think that okay, she's stupid. But she might feel that okay, if I do it and my womb is destroyed or something happens to me along the way, what happens to me in the future if I need a baby? Right. So there are a lot of things involved. So the first thing I would say is to, first of all, if you want to lay with somebody, if you don't you sit down together and say, okay, we're just laying. It's just laying.
I did say one night stand though.
It's not about even sitting down together.
Take the measure.
You as the man, if you don't want a child, there is a way to
let me get
prevent
through.
yourself from not having a child.
But as far as I'm concerned, if you get pregnant and I tell you to abort and you refuse, I wash my hands from that baby. 100%.
Well, you pay child support.
As far as I'm concerned, that child doesn't exist.
Well, okay. Yes, let's hear from you, please.
Yes. I would say we are all adults, right? If you come to me and you want us to have intercourse, if you don't want a child, use protection. Same as me. If I don't want a child, I will have you use protection. They're actually female, whatever. I will use that because I don't want a child. If we decide to all go raw, let's be ready for what comes out of that.
If they fail you, what happens?
Well,
Well,
that's the instance where I will be open to
let's
this.
not bicker.
But I can also take
First of all,
But the point was
the way we
you
are
be
speaking
responsible
is
for it or not.
abortion is a form of protection, and you guys must not act like it is not. Secondly, Ben, I know you said you wash your hands off the child, but you will still be responsible to pay child support for that child. You have to know that. But if you flip this on the other side and you said, let's say you wanted a child, the man wanted a child, and you asked the lady to, and the lady didn't want the child, and you tell her to keep it, and she goes and abort. There's nothing you can do about it. She will not pay any child support to you because, of course, there is no child. So I see a double standard here where the men are treated unfairly, which is where my question came from. That's the place where that question came from. That they have a double standard in the way they treat men and women. But let's move on. I have a second question here. Let's say you have a child with a lady, and then the lady takes the child away from you, that you're not going to see the child. She goes, and then the child comes back 15, 20 years later. Are you going to accept that child, or you're going to not accept the child?
You say the child comes back?
Or she brings
the child back.
The child has come back. I don't care whether it's she that brought it or the child came by herself. The fact is that the child is now
in your life.
I think, what are you going to do?
I will be extremely happy to receive that child.
Okay, why is that?
Yeah, because that's my child. If you can't.
You just said you wash your hands completely off the
No,
child.
that's not a better question, please. That's not a better
You've washed
question.
your hands completely off the child.
That is not a better question. Listen to the question again.
This is another question now.
That's a different question.
Hey, listen, I was stuck with, the thing is, I was getting ready to fight Mr. Ben, washing his hands off that. Everything else he said I was like, I'm waiting for the
These are two different scenarios.
Okay, you go on, Mr. Ben, my bad. My bad.
Okay, so is that your answer?
Yes, I would see the child. I wouldn't kill a cow for that child.
To celebrate the return of the prodigal child.
It's not prodigal, but I'll be extremely happy.
It's prodigal.
What are you going to do, lady?
I'll take my child, that's my blood.
And celebrate.
Yep.
How about you, Mel?
Okay, so let me have the question again.
Okay, so you have a child with a lady, with a guy, right? The guy takes the child and goes and leave, and you never see the child. You've looked everywhere, you've never seen the child, and then the child comes back maybe 15 years after, or 20 years when they're not 20, 15, whatever age. But the point is they come back. Are you going to accept them or not?
Of course, that's my baby.
Oh, my sweet baby.
So you're going to accept them?
Yeah, Mr. Ben will not accept the child.
No, you said you will. If you guys want to know what I'll do, I don't think I'm going to accept that child. And it's very simple for me. You've gone and brought up this child the way you've brought up this child, right? Maybe they do drugs, they steal, they've grown up with you with all kinds of bad habits.
Right.
And I've grown with my other kids that I've had in a very nice, wonderful way. and now I will see this child as something that is coming to contaminate my kids. So I will not allow that contamination.
What about the reverse? What about the reverse? What if your own kids were bad and this child is?
And I wouldn't want my kids to spoil
If the
that
child is coming back as a superstar.
I would not want a superstar that I have nothing, that I did not contribute in building. So if you take my child away, just keep that child.
But you're making it about you. But anyway, that's your choice.
Yeah, no, that's your choice. Yeah.
But before we proceed, go ahead.
No, that's what I had to say. I'm kind of thinking of us concluding.
Okay. No, I wanted to find that what has child support done to people, especially men? I mean, the negative part of it, especially men.
I mean, I cannot say pick an anecdote and talk about it, but I would say that child support has not been a positive system in the life of the father, the mother, or the child, or even the society. Everybody has become a victim of a system that was created to kind of alleviate the situation, but it has made the situation worse. Why? Because the powers that be are enforcing the system to keep the system going. They are not enforcing it to better the kids. So what I'm basically saying is the intentions of child support have been taken and changed completely, and I don't think child support is really child support. It's rather system support, not child support.
I actually have I have an evidence, a case that I know, a person, a man who had a kid at 19, and he was still young. But this man dropped out of school because he wanted to take on his responsibilities. Started doing petty jobs, making sure he's earning an income. And this woman, because she was a druggie, decided to take him to court. Instead of just discussing when he was willing to be part of the child's life, she took him to court so she could have a certain amount of money compared to what he was willing to give. And when she got that awarded to her, she went out of state with the child. This man never saw his kid. He paid private investigators, found the child, went with his mother to talk to this woman, and for 18 years, he never gave up. They traumatized him till the child turned 18. Messed this child up because he was grown up in an alcoholic and druggy environment, and this child came back to his father at 18, poorly trained, and lived with his dad barely for a month, and told the man, "You would never be my dad." Like, literally said that to this man. So this man psychologically, mentally went through a certain trauma that it blocked his ability to reproduce. I don't know how that happened medically, but he tried and tried after that and couldn't. He was completely messed. I don't know if it was because he would just hold himself. I don't know what happened after that, but the trauma lived with him till date.
That's true.
That's unfortunate.
And I'm saying this because, Mary said something that, child support was meant to make people accountable, make men responsible, make people to work, to do whatever. But it seems to me the reverse is happening. A lot of men are not working because of child support. Because they think that when they go to work, that money goes to one lady somewhere, who she has no control. So the reverse is rather happening. How do you see that?
Very true, and they get locked up too.
They get locked up. So they're in jail. None they're in jail, or they're doing drugs or whatever. So the reverse is happening. It's not making them responsible in any way.
True.
So
there are cases where the
solutions?
system is going to an extreme, which actually turns against that child, like maybe revoking somebody's driver's license because they didn't pay child support. I agree that is going extreme. That's an extreme route.
When you revoke somebody's license and you expect him to work again and pay child support, how does that?
I don't support that, and those are some of the loopholes in the child support system. But what Manny said about child support supporting the system, I would beg to disagree, because if your baby mama, that money, the chunk of that money is going to, cannot take care of your child with that money and make your child look good, healthy, and all of that, you had a child with an irresponsible mother, and you should blame yourself.
Watch who you sleep with. Yeah.
Well,
Watch who you sleep with.
I know that sounds more like a personal attack, but
No, I said that earlier here, right? I said that earlier here. I said watch who you sleep with because no matter the
Thank you,
circumstance,
ma'am.
be careful who you sleep with.
Thank you.
a lot of us on this stage have really very little experience in life about a lot of things.
Yeah, I've seen that.
And I'm not going to expose that. But what I'm going to say is child support sometimes awaken a monster in people. And we need to be careful. While you're building, sometimes there is this saying that you have to be careful what you wish for, right? So yeah, children come from God. We need to love these children and support them. But while we're supporting these children, we also have to live our own life.
True.
I'm not supposed to be a dead person just because I have a child.
True.
I'll pick myself over anybody first. So we should know that. But again, I will die for my child. I'll take care of my kids. And I'll encourage every single father out there, take care of the children. If you have a child, do your best to take care of that child. There's nothing more that you can take pride in than seeing you taking care of your own child and seeing them grow up to become a better person, even better than you were ever able to be. But the child support system is one system. I've never seen any perfect system. Every system is going to have its failures, but the system has to keep improving. I feel like the system is stuck in the 80s, even though we are now in the 2000s. We are now living in the age of AI. And those working at the child support office, if you guys don't know what to do, employ some AI. It's going to help you. Call me and talk to me. I have ideas and I have solutions. Listen to people. You guys don't know. And to be honest, we have a lot of unqualified people working in the child support office. And I'm saying this so that they should hear and think twice about who they hire in that office. There are a lot of dumbos working there, unfortunately. But they need to hire the right people. Also, because sometimes the people enforcing the laws don't even know the law that they're trying to enforce.
Yeah. We've seen people frustrated. I wanted to add this point. People have been frustrated by the way child support is implemented. Some got to the extreme where they would completely eliminate themselves and the child and the child's mother. That's how bad it can get.
Those how I don't want to call it, but
Okay.
if you have to do that, then you need help.
So my conclusion, if I would say, is mind who you sleep with first. Second of all, if you're going to be paying child support, if there's a way to get the system to follow up, I don't know if that can happen, but if we can have evidence of receipts on how things are being spent, that will help make it better.
Okay. My conclusion is this. If there's a way that you can always negotiate with your baby mama or baby papa or baby whatever, negotiate, be peaceful, stay with the child, because the child is affected. He's the victim in all the wahalas, up and down, lawyers, whatever. So negotiate and be adults for the betterment of the child.
Dear parents, be in your child's life. From the very first day that child was born. Don't come after 1 year, 2 years and try to act as if you're carrying that. Start being there from day one and you will not find yourself in the child support office or custody court trying to take back a child that was long gone.
Here, please smash the subscribe button, like, share, and follow us. Engage us in the comments with your thoughts, and if there is anything we left out that you'd like to add, hey, you're welcome to take part in the conversation. And hey, if you have that child, please apply the same energy in taking care of the child as you applied when you were making the child. Thank you.
Mic drop. Bam.